We're going to take a different file now to look at trend lines in Excel. This file is the ice cream sales file. It's available in your working folder. A single sheet of data, which is 12 months of the year with 12 sets of sales of ice creams. And then the chart is in its own sheet. Now a trend line is there to show a pattern of values. Now to add a trend line to your chart, you can do this as we have here, where the chart is the whole sheet or where the chart is an object. As long as you have the Chart Tools ribbon activated and the Design sub-ribbon. Over on the left here we have Add Chart Element. One click gives you a set of choices, and we can come down to Trend Line. Now none means no trend line, and that's where we are at the moment, or we can have a linear trend line, and you can see that as we hover the line appears. Exponential trend line, a linear forecast, and you see the graph gets extended because it's forecasting into the future as to where the sales will go, or a moving average. And you can see this has a line that goes along with our data. So depending on the type of trend line you're after, you would choose one of the main four choices. So let's choose a linear. It's a straightforward straight line, and that takes our sales and sort of works out an average and forecast across here to create our trend line. Now you can change the trend line at any stage by going to Add Chart Element, Trend Line, and choosing one of the other types. Or we can go into further options. Here we have more trend line options, which opens a little dialog box on the right here, where we can see our main trend line options. So exponential, linear, logarithmic, polynomial, power, moving average. Now the moving average, you can control how many periods of sales it looks at to create that average. The default is 2. So you can see that the moving average trend line actually starts in February because it needs the first 2 months to work out what the average is. Or we can increase that period. So if I increase it to 3, it doesn't start until March. 4, it doesn't start until April. But it's then averaging the sales across 4 months to work out the actual trend line there. And the trend line name there is 4 per move average sales, or we can give it our own name, T1. And then the rest of that is grayed out. It depends on really the choice of trend line. So I'm happy with the moving average one. I can close the trend line box, and you can see it leaves the moving average in place as well as my original linear trend line, should I need to use them for comparison. So the idea behind a trend line is it looks at your data and produces a trend based on the type of trend line that you decide upon. So whether it's a linear one, which is invariably a straight line with some kind of angle depending on the sales, and then your other types, polynomial, exponential, and the moving average one.